putting my 3000 GT on jack stands and it could not figure out how to get the ground wires put back together. And my dad had a heyday, even though it was July, so it wasn't like winter or anything. In other terms, doing this teaches you that the 20-minute projects actually take about 60 minutes, and the 1-hour project take you about 8 hours, and the 8-hour projects take you about a month. This is the world of car modification.
I have gone through 7 tie rods.
I'm working on swapping my control arms. So far, I'm in the process of getting the old ones off. The only place I can't get them off is the hub. I fit the Condor bushings on the new control arms, and I ground them down so that they fit. So all that's left to do really, just remove the old ones and then the tie rods. I don't luckily have to remove the inners. I do have extended inners down there just in case, but I have these outer tie rods, and these are actually just a little bit longer, and so I think they'll be perfect to fit this. And then in order to get the middle thing out, I ended up taking out the sway bar. Just trust me, if you're doing this mod, just take out the fucking sway bar. It makes everything so much easier. All it mounts to is 6 bolts, 2, and then 1 on each side. So just do that. I also have the new sway bar mounts, but they won't fit these coilovers because they don't have the little top mounts that the M coilovers do. So I'll have to figure that out and cross that bridge when I get there. But it's going okay. Hey guys, what is up? As you can see, we've got the E46 control arm in. And we've got no rubbing. Of course, now my wheel hub doesn't want to move. We can move it. We've got that crazy angle on both sides. For some parts still to come in so I can throw that back together. Mostly the tie rod, crush washers. And I've given the compression sleeves the good old soda treatment, the good old Dr. Pepper treatment. So we're gonna see how those came out. So I threaded on the inner tie rod on the outer tie rod. This outer tie rod is extended, and because of how far I can thread it onto these, it looks like I won't even have to cut the inner tie rods because I thought these were extended too. I actually don't know because I had to cut the inner tie rods on the other set because I couldn't get the compressor washer off without. I obviously haven't tightened down the compressor washer at all, because, you know, it's going to need some adjustment still, because I'll probably have some toe. But it looks like it's all just going to bolt nicely on. It looks like it's all just going to bolt nicely on.
This is like a week after I started doing the E46 lower control arm swap, which is a job most people get done in 1 or 2 days. Biggest reason why is because I'm a fucking idiot, but we'll get into that pretty soon. I've done kind of a couple of things on this, like I'll show you guys in a bit, but I did some interior stuff. I did these little light bars down here. I modified the bumper so that it mounts based on screws and lock nuts instead of those like push rivet things. I wish I took footage of that. It's just all been a blur of me trying to get the control arms in. Luckily the control arms are in. And the part that's difficult for most people in the control arms, which is grinding down the control arms, and you know, they worry about taking too much off. That was the easiest part of this install. All of my woes on the E46 LCA swap has all been due to tie rods. I have gone through 7 tie rods. Not inner and outers, but 4 inner tie rods and 3 outer tie rods. In fact, 2 of them are right there. What's pretty much been going on is I've had to cut 4 inner tie rods, 2 off of this car, 2 off of parts car, because these here, these are what I was going to use for the build. I think these are E90 outer tie rods. I was stupid. I did the whole fucking swap. But I think I either have E90 inners or some other BMW inner tie rods that has the same M14 by 1.5 pitch. Because the E36 lower control arms and these both thread onto it seamlessly. But the pitch on this is different, or the taper on this. So it's too big, so this lower control arm, which is pretty much perfect, doesn't fit. You know, this one's the brand new one. And I'll show you kind of what's going on with some of these other ones. One of my first set of victims of my lower control arm fiasco, I mushroomed this head pretty bad, pounding it in order to get it out. Actually, let me grab this tool. If you're going to do this swap, buy one of these fucking tools. Let me see if you can see it. This here, tie rod end puller. If I got this at the start of this build, it would have been so much less painful. Trying to like hammer out tie rods for days, and when I removed the final set of the 2 that I fucked up today, I bought that and it made it seamless. But yeah, as you can see, I cut an inner tie rod. I actually had this soaking in the vinegar to see if I could get this out, because what happened to this tie rod, and just fucking take it out. The reason why I can't use the other tie rod I wanted to use is because the bolt on the tie rod sheared, thanks to the Mr. Breaker bar. I've been trying to drill it out. This is pretty much, no, this is the wrong one. This one. Is this the right one? Hang on. I'm having a brain moment. Yeah, this is it. I sheared the bolt, which is wonderful. So I tried using the screw extractor. Hasn't gone too well. One of them came out seamlessly as always. This one's fine. It's just the right one out of parts car. And then the left one decided to say a big fuck you. And so I caved. I'll probably put it here on screen. But I just bought racing aluminum tie rods, because I'm sick and tired of dealing with tie rods, and these pretty much will last me forever, and they're made to be tracked. So I just bought the bullet and bought tie rods that are more expensive than the fucking lower control arms that I bought.